to the end. Just be kind.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the NuWhoZone. We're here for the NuWhoZone and we are here for Series 8, Episode 4, Listen, with Peter Capaldi. And from last week's stream, I think this is a pretty decent episode. I think the panel all agreed that this is a pretty good one coming up. It'll be interesting to see, is it good as we remember, or is it just, because the current era is so bad that everything looks better. But it'll be interesting to see what the panel have to say. One of our panelists is not with us yet at the moment. So they're just making sure. They've had a bit of a cough the last couple of days, so they're just in the middle of taking a COVID test, apparently. So we will wait and see if they come on, and hopefully it's negative. But we'll move on now and bring on our guests that we have. We've got 10 people watching right now at the moment. If you are watching, hello. Welcome, and leave a comment. And if you haven't watched the last stream, go and check it out. Let me know what you think. But we won't be talking about what happened in the last stream. Obviously, we're here for NuWho, and that's what we're going to stick to. So let's bring on our guests. Going to be another 6 minutes grilling a steak for my dad. Has to be well done for him. No problem. We'll probably be still talking for a little bit anyway. But not too long. But you'll have time. Don't worry. So let's bring on our guests, and in no particular order. We'll just bring them on. So we had him on earlier on in the last stream. It's the one and only Problem being, and I probably caught him off guard because he's muted himself. So welcome, Lee. Nice to see you.
Evening. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I put myself because I was munching away, so I didn't want to.
No, you're good. You're good. Nobody wants to hear you munching. That's anyway, our next guest is the one and only PD Ridge.
Hey,
and our next guest is the one and only Real Super Doctor.
Hello.
And hopefully we'll have the Queen joining us, but as I said, she's just
you got two here.
So we're just waiting to see what the story is with that test. Hopefully she can come on. But yeah, let's obviously while everybody's getting their DVDs and Blu-rays ready or wherever they're watching, listen, let's kind of talk a little bit about Listen and why this is so popular with the fandom. Lee, we'll start with you. Why do you think this episode is considered one of Moffat's best?
Is it?
I think it is. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's considered in his era. It's considered one of the top-notch stories in his era.
Well, I think there's a little bit. But it's darker, isn't it? We all love a little bit of a darker Doctor story. Well, some of us do. I do. I think as well because it sort of delves a little bit into the Doctor's background. Got sort of ghostly, eerie thing. The only thing I think that sticks in my craw somewhat is again Clara being the most important bestest ever. And again, sort of delving deep into his past, like she hasn't already. And I still, from what I remember, I can't really remember if this was ever sort of resolved. Does that make sense? I need to see it again because I haven't seen this since it aired. So
yeah, but this is in my opinion, if you're going to go into the Doctor's background and start basically, exploring that a bit. Well, then I think this episode's the perfect example on how to do it. Again, like you, I don't like the Clara situation in it, but it's very fascinating the way Moffat went about exploring it compared to the other fella, which we dare not
Well, yeah, I
mention.
think Cartmel said, really, you should only ever hint at it, never really be explicit with that, and I think that's absolutely correct. And I just wish Chibnall understood that. But you're not here to talk about him. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice, creepy, ghostly story. I like the sort of the monster there, and we find out really it's not really the monster. It's something else. It's his own fear, and yeah, it's quite interesting.
This is the episode for me, though, Lee, where you could see Sherlock Holmes kind of bleeding into Doctor Who, because it's very Sherlock Holmesy with the Doctor in the TARDIS, and then they do all of this kind of Sherlock Holmes kind of camera work and stuff like that. You could see that was starting to bleed in. The other show was starting to bleed into Doctor Who, and Doctor Who into
he did that. He did that with the first episode with Matt Smith, with very sort of
just a second
Sherlock Holmesy, and then again in Sherlock Holmes, you had Sherlock's sister in that, and it was very much like Doctor Who, wasn't it? Like Missy in her imprisonment. So yeah, a lot of crossover there. And then of course you had that wonderful fan made who was it, Who-Lock or something?
The Who-Lock.
Yeah, which was nice. Yeah, I mean, I suppose you could argue that Doctor Who was a bit like Sherlock Holmes in space. You had that with sort of Tom Baker's run, and I think you can sort of get away with that a little bit. It is a stylistic choice. I think it's more of a directorial decision than a production thing, but interesting. Yeah.
John?
I think it's one of Moffat's interesting episodes. You know how Moffat can be so clever and with his plot lines and all that, and being overcomplicated. But the tiny things in this about the monsters under the bed and all that, and that fear is a superpower or something like that. It's the fact that it's all tying into that first episode, an unearthly child, the 1000 BC, the cavemen's episode, where the Doctor talks to Barbara about the fear is inside all of us, and always will be, and even for the fact that this wee soldier, the wee toy soldier, was that. I think it's young Rupert that had it, and it had a missing gun, and Clara had taken it and given it to the young Doctor. And, it really kind of it kind of highlights exactly the plot of the series. It's this episode is definitely well written, and you can't deny that. And I mean, they've got the idea of that tying into the past Doctor Who and all that. And I mean, it's done quite nicely. I mean, it's not done over the top like who's, but I think the wee concepts like that are quite spine tingling as well. Kind of like the messing away with history and all that and everything like that, and Clara going into the Doctor's timeline. I mean, she's done that before and right through all the Doctor's timeline, but. What I like about this episode is the fact that it's like Blink. It's like the way that Moffat can do storytelling without going into fairy tales, like he did with Matt Smith in Series 5. You can drop the fairy tales, and you can tell stories that are compelling. Because Blink was one of his most popular episodes in Doctor Who, as well as Empty Child and the Doctor Dances, which are both my favourites. I think he doesn't really go into detail about that. And the young actor that was the kid that was crying in the barn, he was. I think Moffat was trying to mean that was actually a young William Hartnell. and basically that because because the young child was kind of shrouded in darkness and that, and he got up and you could see a kind of silhouette of his face, but I think that they were trying to kind of not really kind of make it obvious that that was a young William Hartnell, but
Yeah.
overall it's interesting.
PD, just before we do start this episode, do you want to give your thoughts on it before we get into it?
Yeah, it's another one of those episodes which was really good until the end of the season and just makes absolutely no sense. Another one of those episodes. And then what is it with this season? Anyway, you have 2 really good episodes, 2 really bad episodes, 2 really good episodes, 2 really bad episodes, 2 really good episodes, and 2 really bad episodes. It just keeps going hit miss, hit miss, hit miss, hit miss. This is the most random season of Doctor Who. Yeah, it's the most inconsistent and random series of Doctor Who I've ever seen. But yeah, I mean, I like this episode. I thought it was a really good story. I mean, this one absolutely compelled me because I was losing it this time when I first saw this season at this point. And I saw this episode and thought, hang on a minute, this is quite good. The next one, Time Heist, I thought was even better. And it's just, but the problem, as I said with it, is he ruins it by killing off Danny Pink at the end of the season. Sorry, spoiler there, but it's been around for a few years. So
Well, if you haven't watched
not really
it now,
a spoiler.
Yeah, that's on you. That's it.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's it.
Just,
right. Well, here.
Anyway.
Listen. If she pops in the meantime, we'll obviously give her a timestamp. But she is probably waiting on that result, so it's probably a bit nerve-wracking. So what we'll do is we'll just we'll just get ready. So if everybody in the chat is ready to go, you know what to do. Press 1, please, for me. And we'll get everybody on the panel. I just want to pause this now. Okay, we're ready to go on my end. So if you're ready, you know what to do. Press number 1 so we can get this stream going. And we'll get Lee to do the countdown as he always does. I'll wait until we get a few more in the chat there. We got 2. Let's see. John puts it in the private chat, so we have 3.
I'm ready.
Look, I'll even put it in. There you go. 1. Right. Come on. Let's see those ones. I don't see ones from the people that are in the chat. So come, even if you're not watching, just press 1. Just press 1. Don't know. Slow bunch today, aren't they? Slow bunch today.
Yep.
Come on. Press 1.
Daniel Kane did. He was first. He was like, poof, straight off the bat.
Right. Anyway, we'll go. Oh, there you go. Daniel with a load of ones. Right. Here we go. So without further ado, Lee, we'll do the countdown. So Lee, knock yourself out. Not quite literally, because then that would be, you wouldn't be able to do the countdown. But go for it. And it would be a bit boring, wouldn't it?
It would be a bit boring.
Yeah. So
all right, fellows. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press play. Go.
Press play now, losers. Right, we got a nice scene of the TARDIS there, but this is very Sherlock Holmes. Or Sherlock, I should say. Look, he's just sitting on top of his TARDIS.
Yeah, he's running at top.
But I love this.
Meditating.
So on.
I think that was the last time someone started on top of the TARDIS since Adric.
I love how compelling this episode is.
Yeah. And it's the acting of Capaldi as well.
Yeah, I love it.
He sells this. Like, this doesn't work if you don't have an actor of Capaldi's caliber.
He does this again in Before the Flood, and it's excellent.
Yeah, he's brilliant. That two-parter is actually a great two-parter. I love that two-parter. I have to be honest.
Oh, look, they've done this right this time.
Yeah.
They did this recently wrong.
No. I have to be honest. I think the Chibnall scenes of the TARDIS under the water were actually very good. Look, I didn't like the era, but you have to give credit where credit is due. I thought the underwater scenes with the TARDIS were actually brilliant.
Yeah, visually it was all right, but it was just the writing.
Yeah.
Just the writing, but you have to give the effects credit where it's due, man.
Timestamp, please.
Yeah, I need one as well because my internet.
Seconds.
What's it?
1 minute 45 seconds.
Right, my internet has gone very bad. It's probably going to pause again anyway, so I'll just skip 10 seconds ahead.
I just love these Inquisition scenes at the beginning. So Twilight Zone.
He's so good, man.
Yeah, he's brilliant at this. Delaware intro.
It almost goes like the Peter Hill theme, but you know,
Yeah.
it doesn't beat that.
No, I still don't like this theme. I have to be honest.
No.
I don't. I
Sounds
like
a bit Delaware, yeah.
I like his era, but I don't like the way they got rid of the time vortex either. I think there was some dispute or something about that. That's why they did the clocks. But this is no.
Yeah. I don't like the clockworks, but I like the kind of visuals of it. But
Yeah, it was the fan. That was fan
clockworks.
made. You do know that.
Yeah,
Some fan did it, and BBC obviously must have approached them to use it or to update it themselves. But
yeah,
I see. I don't understand why they didn't go with the for Jodie's title sequence. That intro where you see the TARDIS flying through all these crystals and all that. I don't know why they didn't do that.
Yeah.
You know.
Too much work.
And a kind of cheap kind of.
Danny Pink gets a lot of stick, but I actually like Danny Pink, and I just think the character itself was treated so poorly by Moffat. This was a very interesting character to explore,
Danny Pink,
especially when we saw his future ancestor. You know, but then that didn't make sense because he got turned into a Cyberman. So, like, you know, spoiler again. Sorry, folks, but kind of ruined Danny Pink. Danny Pink, I thought, was actually a good character.
Yeah. I think this restaurant is the same one from Boomtown. They used it
probably is.
As well.
It looks like it.
With Torchwood as well. A couple episodes of Torchwood. It's quite popular. It's on Cardiff Bay.
Yeah.
Just down the road from the studios at this point.
I remember there was a kind of photo shoot of the TARDIS sitting outside this, and by the time that they had kind of they kind of thickened up the window frames of the Capaldi TARDIS, and they painted it more whiter and a kind of a bit of darker shade, and it looked really good.
Yeah. You can't really complain about the TARDIS exterior, can you? They always did that well.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
It's all right, I've sorted it. Just don't pay attention to it or allude to it. Remember, we don't do that anymore now.
Oh, no.
People like her.
Yeah, piss off, Clara. Take your bigger
Yeah.
No, but Danny, because the way Danny is as well, he doesn't help the situation either. Because like he's just so uptight and
PTSD probably.
Yeah.
I think I better hide in the bedroom just in case you took him home. That's the first place you take him.
I happened to find a kind of buzzy thing that goes bzzz.
How big is a bedroom like ceiling, you know?
I know, yeah. But I love this whole scene because it's fucking funny, like.
Doesn't she live in a flat? Like, how do you have ceilings that high to fit a TARDIS?
Oh, you probably just missed him out of that line. Oh, Capaldi's doctor just doesn't give a shit. He's so far removed from reality, it's unbelievable. It's grand, Chris. I took care of it. As I said, let's not highlight it. I have noticed, though, I think this is a problem with YouTube itself, because even in music videos now, you're seeing those type of comments pop up. I think they're just bots. So, you know, YouTube spend their time trying to censor people instead of actually trying to fix their platform. You know? So just ignore it. It's just bots. Actually, that's true. Has anybody... I think the nightmare that people talk about is the one being chased by a dog. I think everybody's kind of had that dream.
Well, we've all been chased by something. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's human nature. You know, we learned to climb up trees to escape predators. You know?
Yeah.
I get chased by a dog. I give her a treat. She buggers off.
Did you ever wake up suddenly like that and just get up and have a look around, feel like you have been watched and stuff, and there's something under the bed?
Yeah.
I used to think that all the time. Like,
Yeah.
I'd be terrified to actually, as a kid, to put my feet down onto the floor just in case someone did grab me like that.
Yeah. Once woke up, thought someone put their hand over my face.
I always slept with the whole light on, because and back when I was younger, it was more like I didn't like the light being turned off, because, you know, it was like a it was because when in the pitch darkness there was you don't know what could have happened. It could have been a monster or something, or
Yeah.
you know, boogeyman or whatever.
Yeah,
Anyway.
why does that is a good question. Why does everybody dream of someone under their bed?
Don't like this bit.
Yeah.
I've already explained why.
Yeah.
It's a hereditary memory in our RNA structure,
Yeah, it
passing
is.
down information from when we were, you know, living amongst saber-toothed tigers and snakes and things.
I'm feeling like you're being grabbed. Nothing there. That's some kind of it's like the REM. You wake up during a certain part of REM, you go just before you go into REM.
Right, here she is. It's the one and only Queen Charlotte.
Can you hear me?
Hey. Hello, ma'am.
We can indeed. Do you need a timestamp?
I'm all right. I've already watched it, because it's just awkward to watch it when I'm on the iPad as well.
What's under your bed?
Oh, and folks, I'm clear.
Okay,
Yay.
great.
Good news. Good news. Good news.
I don't like the neural interface. That's the only thing I don't like.
Oh,
I got a text through from unknown number, as a mobile number, saying you've been exposed to someone with COVID-19 Omicron variant. Please order this test kit by visiting this website, which is a .com website.
That's
claiming
not,
to be a UK health department.
that's not
Yeah.
Such
dodgy.
a scam.
That's
It's
not
such a scam.
dodgy.
So beware if you get texts like that. Don't respond. Don't click the links, and don't take it seriously.
Yeah.
Just report it.
Yeah.
I suppose you can report them.
Yeah,
I don't do anything about it though.
PD, I like the main console. It's just that fleshy bit. I know they need it for the story. It just doesn't
Yeah,
suit.
because that was all like multicolored lights behind it. Really cool. It looked like some kind of weird interface, but it looks like a sex toy.
Well,
if you know
I
what
think
I mean.
I think the problem is it's such an organic looking bit
Yeah.
in such a mechanical looking
Mechanical,
TARDIS.
yeah. It looks a bit Cronenberg, yeah.
Yeah, it just doesn't go nicely. But they need
Yeah.
it so Clara can do the whole
Yeah.
going down timeline thing.
Yeah. I mean, I know that
never
this
liked
TARDIS
that.
has psychic circuits. We all know that.
Have
We've
you
all
ever
seen
seen
them.
the size of the human brain? It's hilarious.
Yeah, we know TARDIS got psychic circuits. I just didn't like the way they did it. It's like, oh, it looks
No,
like a
it's
sex toy.
it's a bit too literal, isn't it?
Yeah. And the other episodes have got multicolored lights behind it. It looks really good.
This is brilliant, this scene.
Yeah.
So we've gone past the lovely awkward dating scene.
Yeah. We just had the sex toy, so there we go. So it's like, oh, sex toy. It's that fleshy color as well. It's like, oh god.
Yeah.
Can you just put the multicolored lights back behind it?
See, but this scene here, going back in time and seeing the young Danny Pink, this would be totally going against the Ninth Doctor, because the Ninth Doctor did it for Rose. You know,
Yeah.
she wanted to see her dad again, and
Yeah,
he
but
travelled
this is
back,
different.
you know,
No,
Yeah.
but this is different because she stuck her hands in the telepathic circuits, whereas Rose asked to go back to see her
Yeah.
father. This is different. And the thing about it is, this was an interesting subplot, but then Moffat decided to abandon it completely and kill him off, which is absolutely ridiculous. This would have been very interesting to explore because we see young Danny Pink, and then we see one of his future relatives. Do you know what I mean? And that was the thing. That was then all undermined then when he turned him into a bleeding Cyberman.
Yeah,
So
killed him.
it is completely different to Rose. Rose was being selfish, whereas for Clara, she put her hands in, and that's obviously she must have been thinking about, or was in her subconscious, because that's what the TARDIS picked up on.
Well, in the show, there's a flash of him like waiting at the table, so you know exactly that she thought of probably God, what a terrible day, and because of that thought, it made it go this way. But even the difference with this one, even though if you take the whole idea of coming across yourself, the Doctor, as soon as he realizes that, is like, to no, go in the TARDIS. He doesn't let her.
Yeah.
Whereas with Rose, he physically let her watch, which was the mistake, because you can't watch that and not get emotional and do something. And it's almost like he's learning now. You can see that he's learned from that experience. And he was like to her, no, go in the TARDIS, don't interfere, because actually this could go really bad if you come across yourself.
This is coffee, yeah.
So apparently there's a tropical storm on the way in Ireland.
Oh,
wow.
Tropical and Ireland. Now there's a thing you wouldn't normally hear together.
Like green grass at the Highland, not tropical.
Supposed to get that heat wave coming back again.
Yeah.
Thunderstorms.
Good thunderstorm will clear it out.
Good. I don't really care, man. These people making a big deal out of the weather. Enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Well, at last,
Enjoy the good weather. And yeah, the weather is getting more extreme. But as I said, nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with us. We make such a small impact.
Sun's just going through puberty. That's what it is.
Right. And the thing about it is, all of these people that keep sharing graphs with you and what these so-called experts say with their reports. Listen, they're rewriting the science, right?
I always are.
Bullshit. They always have to suit a narrative, fit a narrative, so they rewrite
this
things.
This is what I'm getting annoyed about, Noel. They're always rewriting the science and trying to turn it into parascience.
It's like we never had heat waves.
They always go like, oh, it's breaking your record of 40 degrees.
Yeah.
Look, I remember when it was 40 degrees previously twice, and they kept saying it was the first time. It was like, no, I don't understand how people can have such short-term memories.
Yeah, do you know what it is?
In 2016,
it's just like everything. Everybody is radicalized and brainwashed that even if the facts are in front of them, they're going to deny them.
It was reaching 39 degrees in the 1930s.
I know. Yeah. I know. Yeah. And someone actually put up the perfect picture of the weather forecasters, right? And you have it where the 40 degrees are, and he had the map all red, but it was 38 and 39 degrees. And they had a bright color. They were literally saying, "Look how the media is manipulating by making it worse." So if you make it red, that's dangerous sort of thing. But like it was 1 degree less hotter than that day, and it's a global emergency. Feck off. Yeah. Anyway, let's keep the climate crap out of this and get back to this. They're under the bed now.
I was going to say, but back to the show. I really like the child actor for Danny.
Yeah.
He's really good. He's not like, considering it in Capaldi's when he had some shockingly bad child actors.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this one's a good one.
Yeah. It's a bit cold here at the moment. Just going back to weather, but not going too far into it.
That would scare the shit out of you, wouldn't it? Imagine if you walked into your bedroom, you knew there was nobody in the house, and you walked in and you seen your duvet or your blanket do this, you would fucking flip.
Well, of course, Clara's
not phased at all.
Phased, yeah.
Yeah, super Clara. You'd be running out of that.
Folks, she's going to get worse soon. There's a whole scene
Yeah.
now. When I was watching
This
it again today, I was just like,
Mhm.
oh, you annoying B word. I won't say the rest of it.
Yeah.
See, this is her trying to be like the Doctor, being all clever, you know, and embracing the unknown and all that, and it really gets irritating because it becomes like Clara.
Well, but I'll give credit here. At least it actually makes
Yeah.
sense because she's a teacher.
Yeah,
So they paired her with a child. So it's like, she should have this natural ability with children. So it makes sense a bit. It's when the doctor comes in soon, and she's literally at one point ordering him about, and it's just like, oh, get over yourself.
It's like it works with Matt, but it doesn't work with Peter. That's the problem.
Well, the problem is with when she did it with Matt, it still had that feel of like a friend telling you to like be quiet. Whereas with Peter, it just comes across as she hates him or she's superior than him. I don't know. I don't know if it was the direction or it was the writing that I just don't know what made that change in the dynamic, but you really feel it.
That's why I don't like that scene with Matt. So I turn around and say, look after him, kind of thing, because it's almost like giving a poetic license to do what the hell she wants.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like I said, at soon she's literally telling the doctor to sit, and I'm just like, he's not a dog. Shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he just assume the bed thing's gender?
Well, that's
problematic.
Yep, you got it.
Oh my
it's
God.
problematic. We should cancel Peter Capaldi. He misgendered a sheet.
Sheet. Oh.
I tell you, seriously, man. Historians will look back at this time period and laugh at us all.
Yeah, I saw a clip from EastEnders earlier, and someone in it said sexuality is now a spectrum. I'm like, oh, fuck off.
No, it isn't.
Just go away. Go away.
EastEnders has gone down the hill. I could see that actually being cancelled like Neighbours eventually. I think that show's on its last legs now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It was a great show in its time, EastEnders. Let's admit it gave us some of the best moments of TV, have to say. But it's completely gone the other way now. I don't see it lasting. I honestly don't.
Oh, did you hear about their big upcoming special?
Yeah, with Barbara Windsor.
Getting back young Barbara Windsor. How's that going to work?
Well, they done it before and they done it well, so I'm not going to criticize them because they did it before with Pat and with Peggy Mitchell, and I think it was who else? There was three of them. Dot. They did one with Dot as well, which was great. Yeah. So no, they really do them well. I'm not gonna
as long as
bash
they do it
them,
all right.
but I don't know why. See, they're doing this because they're struggling. See, they're not doing it for the reasons that they did it back in the day. They're bringing back even Shane Ritchie now to play Alfie Moon again. That just goes to show you how bad the show is.
They are struggling. 80 million rebuilding their set, and now they're
I was going to say, like, how much money have they just spent?
I know
they said 40 million, but it was 80 because the BBC double it. Everything they say.
Yeah, everything is just more than they actually say.
Yeah.
So either 33% more or 50% more. Let's lie about everything.
I mean, they really didn't need a new set. I mean, the old set was just fine.
No, the old set was crumbled.
Never happy.
The old set was in an awful state. It did need a revamp. It actually did, but the problem is they spent all of that money on it, and
actually they were originally going to move it to Birmingham and rebuild it in Birmingham for like 20 million.
Yeah,
and they made a huge hoo-ha.
I love the creepiness, though. I forgot how creepy this was until I watched it again today.
Yeah, it is a creepy story.
It's proper vintage Moffat, like creepy, under your skin type of story.
Right.
Oh, shut up, Clara.
Shut up, Clara.
That's what
Sorry,
I mean.
not you, Charlotte. Clara.
But that whole scene, she's talking to him like he's dirt.
Yeah,
how comes young Danny Pink doesn't grow up to know who Clara is? Like, oh, you're the woman who came and visited me in my bedroom.
Yeah. I thought that watching it again. I was like, Moffat, bit of a plot hole, mate.
You were the control freak who visited me in my bedroom.
And it's like, I noticed that again watching
Soldier without the gun.
Oh yeah, I like this because we all know what what this is a comparison. Yeah. This is a really nice comparison, I think, to the Doctor.
That was good. Once upon a time. That's so me.
And then what does he say? Father skills or dad skills? Can't quite remember which one it is.
Yeah.
So once again, a little hint to his past without going overboard.
Yeah.
But apparently the Doctor's asexual. Oh. That's what's going around at the moment. Oh.
So she's just basically lied, saying that he has no connection to her. She knows he does.
Oh yeah. But I suppose, how would you explain to a child? Yeah, I'm your possible future girlfriend.
Yeah. Sorry, bisexual, not asexual. That's one going around at the moment. Oh.
Okay, so he's effectively removed that memory from his mind, so that's what he's done.
But the whole Dan the Soul.
Yeah, he probably scrambled his memory. Yeah.
Yeah. Dr.
There he did. He scrambled his memory.
He did it so Rick and Morty. Funny.
So he's the one that implanted the memory into his.
Oh no, it was Clara. It was Clara who said Dan the soldier. So I've always seen this as is almost Moffat implying Danny did the whole soldier thing because of what Clara said here.
Yeah.
He became a soldier because of her.
Now she's just giving herself a compliment. Oh, just shut up.
Yeah.
I think this was watching it back again today. I think this is when I remembered watching it the first time and thinking this is when I started to really hate her.
So now she's changed history by going backwards and changing. And he just lets her do it.
It's like she's massively impacted Danny as a child, and she's going to massively impact the Doctor as a child.
Yeah.
In one episode, so that's two massive sort of Clara Descent of the Universe moments.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because I can never say the actress's name. Is it Gemma or Jenna?
Jenna.
She's such a good actress. Like, I hate having to have a go at Clara all the time.
Yeah.
She's a cracking actress.
Oh, she's a great actress, Jenna Coleman. Great actress.
The problem is back here, she just comes straight up back at Hollyoaks, didn't she? So we're all just, Hollyoaks. Hollyoaks is Hollyoaks there.
Who's Hollyoaks?
Didn't Jenna come out of Hollyoaks?
No, it was
Emmerdale.
That's it. Yeah, sorry. Wrong one.
Emmerdale, which is far superior than Hollyoaks.
Emmerdale, that's it.
But I think she was really young when she was in Emmerdale.
Yeah, and she's very good in Emmerdale. She's one of the best characters in Emmerdale, actually.
Yeah.
And
she was good in Titanic, which me and John watched on the channel. She's brilliant in that as well. She plays a waitress in that. Apparently, she's brilliant in Victoria. I haven't watched Victoria, but everybody keeps ranting and raving about it.
Yeah.
And now she's in the new series of Sandman. And I have to say, the trailer looked impressive to me. I know there's people complaining about certain aspects of it, but that trailer looked very, very, very good. And she looked great in it. So,
yeah, I'm going to watch that. So I've purposely not watched the trailer for it. I'm going to
I've been
give it a go.
A fan of the Sandman comics since the mid-90s. So I'm a little bit apprehensive with all the changes, but I'll watch it. Just
give it a go and see what happens. That's it. If it's not your cup of tea, it's not your cup of tea. That's the way it should be.
I've waited decades to see it on a screen. So
yeah. So we'll give it a go. And it looks interesting. I have to say the trailer looks pretty impressive. I have to say I really liked it. So I'm actually looking forward to it. So let's see what he does with it, Neil Gaiman. It'll be interesting.
The other thing that gives me hope is that people, Lucifer, which is, I think, going to have, it's sort of, I wouldn't be surprised if you see similar sort of themes a bit, was on Netflix. And Lucifer's really good. So I'm hoping I see a bit of a effect from that on Sandman.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there we go. We got this space suit now.
Oh yeah, orange spacesuit.
Yeah. The funny thing is, a lot of them came from like soap operas, but they're not the worst. We know they're definitely not the worst now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember when Doctor Who used to hire actors who used to be like stage actors and proper actors?
Yeah. Because that was a stigma of this series. There was too many people from soap operas. There was just kind of, it's a melodrama. But it's not the worst.
I wouldn't say melodrama, but I suppose the Danny and Clara stuff, some people saw that as a bit of melodrama.
Yeah. I just think the season got a bit whimsical in places. I think it's not melodramatic anymore. After seeing the last 3 seasons, yeah, saved it. That saved season 8.
Well, I think what saves, I think, and this episode's such a good example. It's Peter, like he's the saving grace.
Yeah. In this episode.
In this episode, it felt like to me watching it again that this was almost when he could breathe a bit. This episode, this is when they actually let him
shine.
Go off. Like almost let him off the leash. It felt like in the first 2 episodes or 3, he was still sort of finding his feet, and it felt like in this one it was like, he's got it now. He's going to be the professor. He's going to be the sort of slightly cynical doctor. And he's sort of going to have this air of not caring.
Yeah, but has anybody noticed that he's actually wearing the orange spacesuit that David Tennant's doctor will wear?
That's the same one.
That didn't make any sense.
They probably just had it in the wardrobe department.
Or maybe that was the standard color of spaces, but I just did find that a very peculiar. And then I was thinking this was this planet in Midnight. Do you remember with the crystals? Because it looks the same color.
Yeah, I think it's.
And you got the noises. Do you remember you have all the banging in this one? And that's what I thought. Maybe they're on that fucking planet again.
Yeah.
Would have been a nice little link.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But obviously it wasn't. But Moffat could have thought of that. That would have made it actually good.
Yeah. Well, the orange spacesuit is because it's not a spacesuit as such. It's a high altitude suit. It's in case you bail out of a space shuttle. It's orange so it can find you again.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah.
Could you live in a place like that though, with total just silence, no birds, no animals, no nothing?
No.
And then that's the whole point when the doctor's like, you'd get so lonely that any companion would be tempting, and that's why he wrote on the door, "Don't open it."
Yeah.
Because I adore the whole how fear is dealt with in this. I think it's one of Moffat's best sort of having an overall theme and just running with it and just writing really clever with this one theme where you can tell the Doctor's linked to it, Clara's linked to it, Danny's linked to it. They're all sort of circling that issue but having different approaches and different thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is the first episode with the holy jumper. You know, he's got this jumper with holes in it.
I love that jumper.
See, I like the kind of casual look of Capaldi. You know, like getting rid of the collar, the white shirt. I think he suits this more. You know, it's more like the Doctor suits more casual because he's more like you can't have him too dressed up because you need him to kind of be more relaxed and because he's a traveller. You know.
Yeah.
See, I think Peter though later on pulled off the sort of Pertwee-esque inspired suit.
Yeah.
I love this though because he's asking Orson there because he's basically said let's stay overnight and you can see Orson's face. He does not want to stay there. So what the fuck is being going on that doesn't want him to stay there?
Yeah, it's the whole. I like that it's a whole big mystery. What's the creature? What was on the bed? Like, there's so many little things that you just are like, what on earth is going on? Like, I think you said, PD, when you first watched this, you just have that feeling for most of this episode.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite like the creature from Midnight, you know, the one that did in the repeating, but this is without the repeating. You know, it's kind of the kind of same kind of thing idea.
Yeah.
Well, we know even less about this creature. At least, like you said, with the Midnight, you sort of had that pattern of repeating and it became a bit something you recognised.
Yeah.
Whereas with this, it's just banging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I'm convinced this is the same bleeding planet. It's just never mentioned. But this very early looks like the Midnight planet, I'm telling you.
Midnight planet was bright white though.
Yeah. And it had
the sun.
Like,
this more looks like Mars.
Yeah, but this is the end of time, isn't it?
Oh yeah, the sun could have gone out, died.
Oh, that's
Dan the soldier man.
Yeah, it doesn't actually because he dies.
It's like the future episodes become like a kind of paradox now.
Yeah,
it's like it's kind of changed. I mean, this if in the future,
happen?
I mean, this wouldn't have happened at all.
Yeah, did this happen now?
Yeah. I think Moffat gets quite lost in his plots himself.
He does. He's got to plot it out. I mean, that's a part of basic storytelling is to pad out your kind of beginning, your middle, and your end.
I think with Moffat,
I
think Moffat's flaw is he loves an idea too much.
Yeah.
He like you said, he gets too wrapped up. He gets a bit tunnel vision. If he and watching this, you can see he had the core idea of why do we talk out loud? Oh, there must be another creature, and it's invisible. And then he's just got too wrapped up in that.
Yeah. He follows one thread and doesn't follow the other 5 loose threads.
So Orson figured it out.
Oh yeah.
He figured it out that she's related to him. Interesting. This is a cracking episode. It actually is. There is some things that you would like a resolution to, but kind of thinking about it, I'm kind of glad in a way. There's not
also kind of crazily enough, I do prefer Orson Pink to Danny Pink for some reason.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I wish it was Figgy Clara and Orson Pink. That would have been so much better.
Well, actually, that would have been a very interesting dynamic, though, wouldn't it? Him from the future,
Orson Pink, and
his grandmother or his great grandmother in Clara. That would have been a.
That would have been a bit incestuous.
Just a bit. Good. I think the problem was with Danny. I can understand why he had the chip because of the soldier background, but I felt like it was a bit dealt with a bit on the nose with him. You could have been a bit more subtle with the whole PTSD.
Yeah. How did Dawson get the deep future though?
It went wrong, didn't it? Isn't that what they said?
Oh. Yeah, he said it went wrong, and he ended up there. Yeah. Basically, and then she says, "Get yourself home. Get yourself home. My advice is get your health home, and don't time travel." And then he turned around and says, "Well, it runs in the family," and then that's when they start talking.
He knows then.
He did a Buck Rogers or a Starscape then, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the TARDIS prop really looks good there, with the light through the kind of pebble dash as well, and the darker kind of shade of blue.
Yeah, because it is a lot darker than Matt's, isn't it? It's a bit more dustier.
Yeah.
I was going to say you might recognise the director on this episode. It's Douglas McKinnon, who's done quite a few.
Yeah.
You'll probably recognise once you put his name into Doctor Who, you'll see he's done loads of. Well, he did. He hasn't done any since, but he was like a regular director.
Oh
yeah.
Very good one.
I think the camera work as well has improved. I mean, series 6, it was quite kind of dodgy with the Impossible Astronaut and that.
Oh
yeah.
Knock.
Yeah.
Knock.
Yeah.
At first, when I first watched this episode, I was like, 3 knocks. That's like the Time Lord's heartbeat, but it's a different rhythm, so I knew it wasn't the Time Lord.
No, it's only 3 knocks. It's the 4 knocks because of the heartbeat, the Time Lord, the 4 beats, the 2 hearts.
This not reminded me more of if you've ever watched like Ghost Hunt stuff. They always say, "Can you knock 3 times?"
Yeah.
So it made me think of that.
If it was 4 times, both were going, "Hello, Doctor."
He has to know.
Yeah.
This scene is actually freaky, man.
Yeah.
look at Clara. It's like, come on, let's just get out of here. Look at her.
But she just
That's
doesn't
it.
get
You
it.
tell her.
Yeah.
She just.
Oh, you're an idiot. Yeah, he's an idiot. Of course he is.
She just doesn't understand. It's
Oh.
like the doctor's curiosity will make
Brilliant.
you think
Yeah.
Brilliant. He gives out to her there, and I just love it.
Yeah.
Just love it. Put her in her place.
Yeah.
No, and I will give, like, at least in Series 8 he did. Actually, if I remember correctly, I think Series 8 was the most he gave out to her.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
gives out to her a few times. That's what I
But-
mean. He doesn't. It's not all one way. He does give out, but this is the part I love because you don't. His face. He's just hanging. Look at him.
I mean, I have a problem with that. The doctor should have had a plan, like not just
Yeah.
be rescued at the last minute.
I think the doctor got so infatuated by what it was.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think this is, and you got to remember, he's been traveling alone
Yeah.
for a while. Is
Yeah.
the implication at the beginning? So I think
Yeah.
I think there's two things that happens when the doctor's alone. He gets sort of more curious about
Yeah.
things because he hasn't
Yeah.
got somebody sort of holding him back, and he
Yeah.
gets it more stubborn.
Yeah.
So I think
Mr.
you're gonna,
Beavis free, anyone?
yeah, you're going to get the most, in a sense, stupid doctor actions when he's been alone
Yeah.
for a bit.
Don't do that, Chloe. Don't know what's been in there.
Yeah. I don't like the idea of the TARDIS being on.
Yeah. I mean, we know TARDIS got
Organic
psychic circuits
growing
from
and that.
back in the
You know,
Thingy's era, Patrick Troughton's
Yeah.
era, but I don't like it
Pertwee era
when they've done it.
as well.
It looks like a cheap sex toy.
Yeah.
Robert Payne, that's a good way to put it. He gets more dangerous. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, this is a thing now that I want eradicated from the new series now.
Yeah.
I don't want any companion knowing how to fly the fucking TARDIS. I'm done with
And
that
that's how
shit now.
Danny did. If you look very closely at the rail, that's how Danny didn't get sucked into space. He put a rope around it.
Yeah.
But you don't really see it. That's a problem. He was on a harness.
Because I mean, like back and forth to Doomsday, I mean, Tegan was trying to control the TARDIS, but it was actually the Doctor that was
Oh.
telepathically controlling the TARDIS.
Here we go. Here's the
Oh,
famous
yeah.
scene now.
Oh, I love this scene.
This is
I love
it.
I love the dialogue. I'll correct myself. I love the
Yeah.
dialogue in this scene.
Going back to Day of the Doctor as well.
Yeah, I do like the dialogue. It's Clara doing it though, but again, it was very well delivered. I mean,
Just a
Yeah.
minute. He's not a little black girl.
Yeah, I know.
yeah, we'll say nothing about that.
Yeah.
Remember, we don't discuss that era.
I know, but this undoes that whole era. It's one
Right.
bit.
No, I agree. No,
That's-
I
Yeah.
just watching it again, I actually got a bit teary when she does the
Yeah.
speech
Yeah.
soon,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
don't know what it was about it. It just, I was trying to think why afterwards, and I think it's because after the couple of years we've had, I just think that whole message about fear
Yeah.
and what she's talking
Yeah.
about actually resonates more now
Yeah.
Yeah,
than when it actually went
this-
out.
Yeah.
This speaks 1,000 words. This.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is brilliant. This is.
I just love the bit
seriously.
they don't realise it back on. The Doctor doesn't really realise it back on Gallifrey.
Yeah. And it was intended that this would be a very young William Hartnell
Yeah,
as
cool.
a child.
And not something else or someone else.
No. No.
No. Didn't happen.
Well, you
Didn't
can
happen.
sort of,
Look, this is what I'll say. It doesn't matter what that idiot done. these last 5 years, right?
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is that fans don't accept it,
No,
right? And that's the majority and the public.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what Chips did, right? At the end of the day, it's not part of our canon. We'll never accept it. William Hartnell will always be the Fourth Doctor, no matter what they say. And this is the point that I made the other day as well. And it's a valid point. It doesn't matter if it's been hinted at before that there were other doctors before William Hartnell. We don't care if there were other doctors before William Hartnell.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is fans won't accept it because it was never written in, right? The Fourth Doctor on screen was William Hartnell, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. Anything else after that, it's just people taking liberty.
Oh, I know why she arrived here as well, because she went through the Doctor's thingy, didn't she? Went into schism.
Yeah.
So the TARDIS would take her here.
Yeah, you got to think about it. Almost Clara's got, how do I word this nicely? Like a bit of the Doctor almost.
Yeah.
In her now because she went through his timeline.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's why TARDIS took it to this point.
And I can't help but think, if you think about the TARDIS's personality,
I think the TARDIS wanted Clara to give this message, to sort of tell a very young Doctor that you can have fear, and it's not a negative. You have to just use it, and it's the superpower theme. And then that made him, like I said, I hate that it's Clara doing this.
Yeah.
But I love the message.
You might have fear, but you could turn the fear into a good thing to work in your advantage, basically.
Yeah.
And that's the message she was trying to convey, and I think I agree with you. I think this was all the TARDIS is doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because remember, this is the season where Capaldi's Doctor is also, questioning whether he's a good man or not, So it all ties in.
Yeah, it's the Doctor. It's the TARDIS looking after the Doctor, and I think if you think about it, because Clara heard that first off the Doctor in the bedroom with Danny, with little children, so then she knew it to pass it on. So it's like a proper circle that Moffat loved.
Clara's, Clara's
I
just
love
doing
this
the dirty to the Doctor.
There's your told. No, but this I could understand why she did this though.
Yeah.
But he did it because he knew. He knew that this was where he shouldn't be.
Yeah.
There he is, the Fourth Doctor.
Now, the speech that Clara was given to that people were thinking about the child was because she said very clever people.
Yeah.
And she was actually referring to, I think it was autism. You know how autistic children are very, very clever. That they've got this like a super intelligence and that, but they're also scared of the world around them because they try to make sense of it. It just kind of echoes this, because you can see that the young the young child is very upset and scared. It's like.
Yeah, and you've also you've got to think what were the adults saying before this?
Yeah.
He'll never make a Time Lord. He'll never make it into the academy.
Yeah.
So it's this theme of, I think when Moffat did tap into this, he was really good, which is that the Doctor is supposed to be the underdog. The Doctor is supposed to be the outsider.
Yeah.
And that's what this is also talking to, that if you feel like you're an outsider, if you feel like everybody else is different to you.
Yeah.
And that's just a general, but I know what you mean. It could go into what you were saying, but it's very, and I think when Moffat did sort of focus on this, he was very good at it.
Yeah.
Sort of meta narrative on the Doctor.
Yeah. And then after that, nothing more was said about it, and that was just nice, because it just wrapped the kind of story up. And I mean, it doesn't really delve into the Doctor's past at all. I mean, it's just there to speculate and who the child actually is, and that. But we know it is an early, very incarnation of the Doctor. It's the very first.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sort of feel like you've just got a peek into something, and then the door's been shut on you.
Yeah.
Definitely, but 100% that it would be a young William Hartnell. And there's the soldier without the gun, and I mean that's just a nice touch because we know the Doctor doesn't.
But who put the soldier man beside fucking the Doctor's the young Doctor there? It looked like Peter Capaldi's Doctor.
No, I think it was Clara.
No, if you look at the hands, I think he had Peter Capaldi's ring on. Yeah, the ring with the yoke. I think that was the Doctor himself.
Oh,
I'll have a wee look at that again.
I'll have to go back and watch that again. It looked like it. Hold on.
If there's the ring, yeah, that's Peter.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll tell you now. I'm looking at it again.
But I always thought it was Clara because she was giving the speech.
No, it's her ring finger.
No, it's not, is it?
Yeah.
No, that's...
Yes,
no, she said, I'm going to leave you something. It's her finger.
Yes,
it's her hand.
So that's her meddling again.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah, because
I'm telling you now, that's a bloke's hand.
No,
go back and watch. I have it on a still. It's a bloke's hand. It's not Clara.
It is Clara.
No,
it's not. Well, then I tell you, she has very old man hands. She has very old man hands. I'll even take a screenshot of that shit. That's old man hands there. Right? That's not a woman's hand. Those nails are not even pedicured, man. Get the feck.
I'm trying to
think.
There's
no hair on them, so
maybe it was just not by her, but another actress.
I'm trying to think.
It's her eye.
I'm trying to think when the Doctor would be able to get it because she got it off Olson. I forgot his name now.
The fingers are pedicured.
And then the Doctor was knocked out, so he wouldn't have had a chance to get the soldier.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Then there was his future love of all soldiers.
Because the soldier was inside the box. Danny. Oh God. Oscar. I can't remember his name now. Oh, it's gone.
That's a female ring. That's not a male ring.
But it was in the box, and Clara must have opened it out and taken it.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking also in the Doctor's, he was literally conked out in the TARDIS at this point.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
So but he was in a dreamlike state. So obviously the psychic connections of the TARDIS picked that up and took her where she needed to go in order to instigate yet again, this lesson. But it's quite interesting that the soldier. Why does he not recognise it? I don't know. But it's interesting that the soldier's got no gun. I think that's obviously quite a clear reference to the Doctor's aversion to soldiers' guns. Yeah.
The screaming cats are back.
Yeah, it's a female ring.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Pedicured fingernails.
I don't know.
That's too young. Peter Capaldi's hands are older.
They look like old hands to me. I don't know, man. Maybe
it's just the lighting and the angle of the fingers and the creases,
Yeah,
it's a very female ring. I think it's not Peter's ring.
I'm just thinking. I'm going to be blunt. There's not enough wrinkles for it to be Peter.
Yeah, that's generous.
Too pedicured. Yeah, too pedicured. Fingernails too pedicured as well.
It's just the lighting that's kind of refracted around it. It's like you can see the imprint.
And that's not his ring. So.
No,
that's too female. Clara's hand.
Besides, we know he didn't go back there again.
Yeah.
Well, at least we know the Doctor was very male and very white back then.
Yep.
Almost blonde, heretically.
Yeah, almost blonde. Yeah.
I think he's got kind of sandy brown hair,
Yeah.
I was going to say
the one thing I don't like
Brown.
is this kind of very farm-like with hay everywhere, and I don't, and then implying that he's also an orphan. You know, that he's amongst other boys in a in an orphanage. You know, that I don't like that implication. You know, because I think that's sort of delving too much a bit.
Yeah.
Because I just don't see that. You know, he's a Time Lord. You know, he's from nobility basically. He wouldn't be a Shibogan to get into that position. Oh, well, I don't think so. You know, you're born into high.
I was going to say, could you not though, like, go to the academy, study, and become a Time Lord? That's always
potentially could have done that.
Like, basically,
okay, is that right? It is Clara. She's the one.
You still got to be from thingy blood, though, don't you? To
I didn't know.
A bit like Oxford or Cambridge, isn't it? You know, it used to be.
It's Clara's hand. I checked the Wikipedia. It's grand. I just want to check for myself because it looked very male.
No worries.
Looked very male. It's probably as Lee said, the lighting though. So like, you know.
Did you just assume Jenna Coleman's hand?
Gender.
Right.
No, it's worse than that. He aged her hand.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm in ages.
Wait, is that ageism there, Queen?
Yeah, ageism of the hand. Anyway, let's get into the rating and everybody's review. So we'll start with Queen Charlotte.
No, I forgot how good this was. I was like Lee. I hadn't seen this episode in ages. And I remember fans had loved it and it was always referred to, but I couldn't quite remember. But watching it again, I think, this is peak Moffat. This is when it's quite tight for him, I think, even though we said there is some strands that sort of go nowhere. It's still quite tight. It sort of has a simple-ish story. I like when we explore the Doctor's personality a bit and we sort of talk about how the travels have changed him and what he's like now. Because I do think this is almost a commentary on how the Doctor's changed and how he has become maybe more fearful as he's explored the universe more. I like the fact that you see that curiosity. You sort of see that even though it'll get him killed, he will still go and face something. But I think the thing that just clinched it was that speech. I love the so many lines like "fear makes companions of us all," and I just think, that is beautiful. And I said, I don't know if it's because the last couple of years, with the amount of stuff we've had to face, that now having that sort of message, which is you don't deny fear, you accept it and you use it, and you sort of use it as a motivation.
Yeah.
And I think that's just such a good message. And it's a relatable one. That's what I think so good about it, because we all experience fear. We all sort of have that feeling of not being good enough. I think that's also why we saw that young Doctor to sort of go with that theme of feeling like you're just not going to achieve and having that sort of upbeat message for that. So the only real negative, and we've all said it, is Clara once again interfering a lot. Her sort of shut up line.
You're an idiot. Yeah.
You're an idiot. Like, there's a few lines now creeping in where it is becoming very like it's like she's sort of telling her old senile granddad almost at times, just shut up and go in the corner. That's what's starting to creep in now. So I'll knock off a point for the Clara isms and I'll give it a 9.
Fantastic. Real super, Doctor.
I think this is quite an interesting episode. Back then, I was quite angry about it because it was kind of revealing too much about the Doctor's past. Going back into it, I thought it was really wrong for doing so. But you know how the current era is and how bad it is, and that it makes this episode a better interpretation of it. It doesn't really get deep into it. It's just like a nice wee thing, a nice wee kiss to the Doctor's past. Like you're going back and and the message of the wee soldier without the gun, and the fear that makes companions of all of us that appear. That there was a line that the Doctor said in 1000 BC when he was in the Cave of Skulls talking to Barbara, like fears makes companions. It's that moment, that it connects, that that Moffat's going to connect to that young doctor, to the that is actually the youngest first doctor in the barn there, and it's quite a nice subtle touch. But overall, this episode is up there with one of the best. I think that Capaldi's strengths as an actor, you can see that he's really going for it in that, and that the acting and the dialogue in that, and in the very first minutes of the episode, and that you see him in the TARDIS trying to work out things out in that, and it's like the concept of listen to listen to your heart and listen to what it's saying in that, and you can follow your fears in that, and it's quite an interesting concept, and especially to the what Moffat was trying to explain in that. The Danny Pink thing, it was quite kind of exaggerated. Like, Clara's been a total arse, It's, this is what we're going to expect from Clara in the couple in the future episodes, that she's wanting to become this dominant character, like she's wanting to become the Doctor, and as she is becoming, her ego's getting the better of her, like that, and then it's towards the end that we come to this episode called Kill the Moon, and she makes this statement that she'll slap him so hard that he'll regenerate. All the abuse that she's wanting to be the Doctor, and because the Doctor's regenerated into this kind of old middle-aged man, and like it's like, like from the transition of the young Matt Smith into this old man, it's like you can see Clara's becoming more like, not the kind of savior of the Doctor anymore. She's becoming more of a kind of bully. Like it's quite horrible to kind of watch.
It's a narcissistic, abusive relationship at this point.
It's absolutely terrible. But the writing's quite good. The intention's quite good. If you can get past that, the Clara aspect of what she's trying to be and what she's trying to become, it's she really needs to be put in her place. The Doctors need to kind of. I think he does try to kind of persuade that you can see that in later episodes, that he's trying to make sure that the Doctor gets in touch with her heart again, like she's the caring, sympathetic companion, that she was in that. But as she's lost that in future episodes, and you can see it in that, and but yeah, I think this is episode should be a 9 out of 10. It's just as Charlotte said about the Clara thing. I mean, it loses a point for that.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Who's next? Lee.
What a load of wank.
I knew you'd say that.
Oh, you contrarian.
I mean, it's such self-indulgent pap prose, and I don't understand the meaning of this entire episode. It's just, just so you can make Clara more important and make the Doctor who he is again. I mean, like, God's sake. I mean, my actual estimation of this episode has actually sank compared to when I first watched it, and I thought, oh, this is quite creepy, and but then it's all style and no substance, it's no trousers time, and I really failed to get the point of it. I mean, considering the introduction of this Orson Pink gets completely undone in the same bloody series, why? What's the bloody point? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't introduce Danny Pink to make him anyway sort of a viable character in his own right. He just seems to be there as a sort of plot device. I don't think they ever fully flesh him out properly. I mean, it's all very surface level, I find. Some great witty lines in there. I won't take that away from it. It's got some funny moments. It's great to see Capaldi stretching his legs with the role a little bit. But I think, the whole element of the monster on the bed. I mean, do we really fully understand what that was? I mean, I'm still nonplussed. Yeah. I don't. It's all very artsy fartsy, highfalutin, intelligentsia kind of. Yeah. This is all very meta, and it's all very done in the spirit of self praise and self pats on the back for being intelligently written. And no, it's not. It's bollocks, and it doesn't really mean anything. Yeah, okay. You want to address a certain nursery rhyme that created the concept for this and the idea of monsters under the bed, and these are all these sort of tropes that are built in really in a way to Doctor Who. But it was so heavy-handedly done. It was an idea that sort of didn't really progress anywhere, didn't really mean anything. I mean, you've got this wonderful message about fear makes companions of us all, but you really don't sort of give it any oomph. There's no meaning. It's still I get that it's still a threat that you can't quite place. I get that. It's an abstraction. I understand that, but it doesn't really work in the context of seeing it on actual screen. It might work in a book or a different medium, but on television, it just doesn't work because you're still going, well, what the fuck was that? What was the thing on the bed? And how does Danny Pink, his mind is erased. It's so lazy. Clara, just why? I mean, it's got some nice ideas. It's just it doesn't seem very well thought out, and I think it's a bit too clever for its own good without actually being clever. It just has pretensions of being clever, and it just seems to be an opportunity to make Clara more interesting and more important than she should be, and to give the Doctor something to do for a mid-season episode, which this season is arguably pretty bad. And so my estimation of it's just sort of gone down the tubes with this. So I'm not impressed, and I think it tries to impress, but and going into the Doctor's background and making him out to be this orphan who runs away to sleep in a barn, and Clara comes along and gives him a pep talk in his sleep, and he's all of a sudden he becomes the Doctor after that. It's just I'm tired of that. And why can't he just be the one who made himself? His set of experiences made him himself. It has to have this strong woman who comes along and makes him who he is with the pep talk. And the soldier, how comes he didn't recognize the toy soldier? I mean, you think that would be quite an indelible mark on that young Doctor, this thing just appearing. So it's got intentions of being clever, but it doesn't really deliver. I think it's sort of smoke and mirrors, quite honestly.
Right,
so I'll give it 4.
Fantastic. PD, did I ask you to?
Not yes, yeah.
Okay, so PD next, and then obviously myself then.
I kind of agree with problem being it does kind of feel like about 3 or 4 ideas from other scripts just amalgamated into one story. There's no real, you don't find out who the monster is in the end. And then we just have the kind of Day of the Doctor kind of revisit. I like the Day of the Doctor revisit though. I mean, I thought it was quite good. It was interesting, and it kind of completely undoes what bloody Chris Chibnall does. There we go. That's my little bit. Because Chris Chibnall can't look back to the past and see what happened before. There we go. That bit's out the way. But yeah, I did enjoy this episode. I mean, it was very. I like Doctor in it. It was more of a let the Doctor be the Doctor in this episode, which is what I liked about it. Alston Peak now makes absolutely no bloody sense of what happens at the end of the season, and we didn't get the big mystery of what the monster actually was. and that kind of ruined it for me.
Nothing burger.
Yeah, it was like just it's like.
But you don't get the point. It's all about just his fear and the abstract. I get it. It's
a
pretentious wank and it doesn't work. You're trying to create a message from a non-corporeal thing. You know, I get it, but it just doesn't work on screen.
Yeah, I mean, compared to the rest of the episodes in this season, though, it's actually the work of bloody Shakespeare.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give it a generous 7 because it's a good episode for this season compared to like the other half of the season, which is like it's like 2 episodes good, 2 episodes bad, 2 episodes good, 2 episodes bad. I also give it a slightly higher mark because it just completely puts Christian Bale's garbage in its place.
I might up it to 5 because I think I gave into Dalek 4, and that just seems like unfair. But I mean, I'm still nonplussed.
I'll do 7.5. Okay, 7.5. I'll do 7.5. I'll give it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this
good,
episode.
But it's a bit of a wild goose chase. You know what I mean?
Personally, myself, I actually like this episode. Yeah, I would rather it wasn't Clara doing the stuff that she did in the episode, but the Doctor does put her in her place. Also, just to actually pick up on a point that Lee made about the Doctor running into the barn. If you remember, though, in Series 3 with David Tennant, he actually tells Martha and Captain Jack that when he was looking into the schism, he used to run away as a child. So it's not far-fetched to think that he ran away and that was why he was in the barn. He would cry after looking into the schism. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Also, no, I remember the Campo Ripocci thing when we was talking about Campo Ripocci on the hill and all that. So, he did live in a very rural area.
Yeah.
I do know that.
So, that would explain that. I do get where everybody's come from. Look, Clara is not a very particular favourite character of mine.
No.
But I actually liked her in this episode because I could see what Moffat was trying to do, but I wouldn't have used Clara to do it.
Yeah.
I probably would have been okay with Orson Pink if there had been some connection between the Doctor and Orson Pink. I say that probably would have worked. But look, no, I look. It does have its moments that are quite cringy, but overall, I think it has more good moments than bad. And I did love the scene where Peter's Doctor does actually put Clara in her place. Well, that's the rules of traveling with me, and if you don't like it, you won't be traveling with me again. Now get into the TARDIS, basically like telling her to get into that, and that's what she needed. But it would have been nice if he had given a lot more of that while she was there as his companion, because I think she does end up getting very reckless, as we see as time goes on. Clara's character actually gets more and more reckless.
It's arrogant. I just saw
arrogance as well, but I think that's deliberately done.
I saw Chris Persh's comment. I thought it was brilliant. Chris Chibnall was the monster on the bed. The creature hiding in the corner of your eye. It's the looming Chris Chibnall era. I've come.
Yeah, he was hiding with the timeless child in his pocket. Anyway, next week is the episode Time Heist. Bit of a mixed bag for a lot of people, but I actually like this episode as well. I actually like Time Heist. I think it's very cleverly done, and the ending of it is actually I didn't see coming, to be quite honest with you.
Time Heist,
but we won't say anything about the one after Time Heist. We're waiting. We'll get to that one when it goes. But that one really does burn.
Kill me, not the moon.
But Kill the Moon though. Just want to say something about that. Look, that episode gets plenty of stick, and rightly so, right? For certain scenes and certain things that happen in it. But overall, that would have been a great story if the fucking moon hadn't turned into an egg.
Exactly.
Right? And if it had turned into an egg or done what it did, right, they wouldn't be standing on a beach, right? Because a big tsunami had come along and wiped them all fucking out. It made no sense.
There'd be no wind, no nothing.
Anyway, that's what I hated about it. It just wasn't scientifically accurate enough for me.
No. That whole episode scientifically accurate.
Yeah, it's a lot of bollocks.
Leave the moon alone.
Yeah, and this is because there is a theory that the moon is an actual old base and it's hollow. And all that. If you watch the Moon conspiracies, that's one of the conspiracies, and I think Moffat was trying to do his little take on it, but it backfired in a spectacular way. But we'll talk about that when we get get to it. But right now, we're going to get the guys to do their channel shout-outs, and we're going to wrap up this evening. Oh my God, what did I just do there? And by the way, I regret eating that pizza. Just wanted to let you know. Yeah. Yeah. Cheryl ate all of her pizza. I left 3 slices. I couldn't. Well, I did get a batter sausage and chips as well.
Oh,
so I literally had a huge pizza and batter sausage and chips. But shh,
you fat bastard.
Well, I could. Yeah. Well, shut up.
You greedy bitch.
Shut up. I asked for a batter sausage and they throw in chips. It's not my fault they throw in the chips, so I just let them anyway. Anyway, channel shout-outs. Let's start.
They only do that if you've been there too often and give them lots of money.
No. We don't do that chipper down there. We don't order from too often because every time we do, we get food poisoning. But because she was getting pizza, we decided we'd go. The pizza restaurant actually looks decent. So, and the pizza was decent, but I'm regretting it now because, as you know,
Daniel agrees. Greedy sod.
Greedy sod. And there's no pineapple on pizza. It's an abomination.
No, it's the only way to go.
Oh, no, it's
not. It's not. I'm shutting this conversation down anyway. Doing channel shout-out. So, Charlotte, go for it. Be quiet, you pineapple pizza head. Anyway.
You ever tried kiwi fruit on pizza?
No! Why would you put any fruit on pizza? The only fruit that goes on pizza is tomato. That's it.
All right, so
that's a fruit. Yeah, you put fruit.
Yeah, tomato is a fruit, it's not a veg.
Yeah. So I see. So that fruit is allowed, but others aren't.
No, we're being fruit discriminatory here, right? Fuck the other fruit.
Fruitist.
Right. All right, I'm a fruitist. Yeah, that's the one. Fuck you.
So have you ever had sweet and sour?
Yeah, I've had sweet and
so
sour
you're a
curry.
hypocrite as well.
I've had sweet and sour curry. I've had sweet and sour curry, but here's the thing. Here's the thing: when I buy a jar of that sweet and sour curry, right, and Cheryl will tell you, I take out the pineapple. I don't eat.
I get extra pineapple.
You might take it out, but it's still got the flavor in it.
Yeah, I don't mind the flavor in curry. Curry is different to pizza. Anyway, I'm a fruit phobe. Who gives a shit? I'm a fruit phobe. I'm a fruit loop. A fruit fucking atheist. I don't give a shit. Charlotte.
Scurvy upon you.
Don't mind him. Charlotte, go ahead, love.
Yes, so you'll catch me on Type 40. We're on a little mini break, but there's plenty of videos to watch in the streams with the podcast and the Thursday night streams. On Friday, if you want a bit of Doctor Who on Daniel's channel, me, Daniel, Wendy, and I can't pronounce the name of the fourth person, Daniel will say in the chat, we're doing favourite Doctor Who episodes. So if you want to come on Friday night and have a bit of a Doctor Who chat with us and listen to us say which ones we like the best, come and join us.
Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. We'll get Lee out of the way. So you can go next, your pineapple lover.
Pineapple supremacist. Yeah, you can find
You're a disgrace advocating for pineapple's rights. I have to say I'm very disappointed in you.
Pineapple lives matter.
Packet of minis, Chris.
Oh, for fuck's sake, just stop. This will get too fucking go on. Oh, for fuck's sake, man.
So you can find me on Instagram. And my channel is also under the name of Audred, Audred, audiovisual. Audiovisual is one word.
Audred audio visual. See, I could say it properly now. I used to say it wrong. Well, Lee used to correct me on that all the time, which he was right to do, Sam. But there you go. Right, PD, you're next.
Okay, you can find me there.
Thanks, PD. I'm PD, go ahead. You legend. Anyway.
I can find me on Rabbit for Another Planet's channel in the chat normally. You can find me sometimes on Dave Travels Through Time in the chat. And if you can also subscribe to Gobby Guy and Jack Main's channel, that'd be great.
Absolutely.
Jack Main's channel is Drawing Jack Rabbit, which is one word.
That's the one.
Absolutely. And the Gobby Guy, his channel's doing very well as well. So, it's nice to see people in the community doing so well. This year has been actually very good for members of our little community that we have that run YouTube channels. The YouTube channels now are on the up, and people are putting out some great content. So keep it up. These are a talented bunch. Anyway, who have we got next? We got Real Super Doctor. He's next. Go ahead, mate.
Yeah, I've got a Twitter account under Real Super Doctor and a YouTube account under Real Super Doctor.
Fantastic. And you can find me here. And also, I'd like to give a shout out to MCTV. Obviously, they're doing podcasts with all sides of the fandom. So check it out. It is worth checking out because then we'll be able to hear the other side of the arguments that we haven't been able to hear before. So you'll be able to comment on those streams and stuff. So check them out. And of course, you'll find me here almost every day, hopefully. And we'll be doing lots of member streams. As we said, we have the RTD watch along. By the way, just to let you know, we got the poll for the other movie. And if I'm correct in saying, the poll should be nearly closed now, or we're close to the poll closing. So I put 4 movies up. And I'm actually a bit surprised by the result, I have to say, so far. If it remains like this, I'll be very surprised. But so with 56 votes, and there's 2 hours left, so an hour and 58 minutes to vote. So if you haven't voted, please do. I don't think there's going to be much of a change in the vote. But in last place on 11% right now is Equilibrium with Christian Bale, which I'm actually very surprised about.
Equilibrium.
Yeah, whatever. Interstellar, don't be correcting me. 25%.
Shite film.
Yeah, be quiet. District 9 on a 29%. I suppose you have a problem with that one as well. Anything else you want to add? No, you're all right with that one? Okay. What about Edge of Tomorrow with 46% with Tom Cruise? Have you got a problem with that one?
No, it's good film.
Okay. Right, good. Glad we could please you, Lee. Good. Glad we could please you.
I'm glad you can too.
Right. In fairness, Interstellar, I actually personally like, but a lot of people have told me how they dislike that movie. That's fair enough. Bullshit. And the one with Christian Bale, I'm just fucking surprised. That's a fucking brilliant film. It's a brilliant film, but I can't believe it's last place in the bowl. But there you go. So right now, it's a 7% swing in favor of Edge of Tomorrow. District 9 is in second place. So if you want to try influence that poll or change that poll, you've got 2 hours to do so. So or maybe it'd be a good idea to plant it in here, actually, because some people probably haven't voted. So bear with me for a second before we leave. Nothing exciting's happening in Doctor Who there. Nothing's trending. So yeah.
No, we've gone back to quiet news cycle, haven't we?
Yeah.
David apologising. That's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can't turn up to a con, isn't it, or something?
Oh, I was going to say, what's he done?
No,
I think
overstretched.
Filming.
Yeah. I think, someone mentioned that. I reckon there's probably he's probably still filming Doctor Who, or there's some scenes that, or maybe he's come back for some extra filming. Actually, I was sent a rumor by Rabbi. He said he hadn't reported on it himself, but he says go and knock yourself out. But to be quite honest with you, it's so far-fetched that, I don't think there's
what is it? So we can see if it's false.
Yeah, what is it?
Well, apparently, according to a rumor out there, Joe Martin's Doctor is going to regenerate into William Hartnell's Doctor.
Oh, no.
No, that's an old one. That's an old rumor.
He told me it's a rumor that I should, so just reporting what I was told. Anyway,
if that happens, there'll be riots.
But there you go. I've put the link in as well. But
we just saw young William Hartnell, so how can it be? Doesn't work.
So apparently that's what they're going to look. Even though I don't agree with it, if she's gonna fit in anywhere, right? She shouldn't fit in anywhere anyway. She shouldn't be part of it, but she is. But if she fits in anywhere, she fits in between 2 and 3. She doesn't fit. She doesn't come before number 1. And again, this is something that has been spoken about. Charlotte is actually right. This has been a rumor or a Reddit, not a Reddit rumor, but on one of those sites. It's been a rumor since last year that was, and I think there's certain rumors out there that are just put out there to cause a reaction. I don't see any truth in this whatsoever. And the thing that kind of backs it up is the fact that she is now starting in a new show now. She's been hired to do something else. So I don't see where they got her in to do any filming. Where would they have got her in? There was no... when they were filming the centenary, nobody was talking about Joe Martin filming or seeing Joe Martin filming. So I find it hard to believe unless it was done somewhere in the studio. But if they do this, and I just want to add, right, and I'll give everybody on the panel a chance to actually give their opinion on this before we leave. But if they do this, I'm just going to say this will be the biggest mistake. The Timeless Child is already the biggest mistake in the show's history. But if you do this and you're basically doubling down, which you would be with the Fugitive Doctor, if you do this, right, you can forget about any hope of a resurrection under RTD. It's done. Yeah. It's done. Because there's already fans that are skeptical. You're going to lose them. They're gone. They're gone. And while I will still watch and give it a go, RTD's era, to see what he does with it, he will be Chris Chibnall will be setting him at a very bad disadvantage if he does this. I really do believe that this will be the killer, the end. If the Timeless Children didn't already do it, which I don't believe it has, because RTD coming back has showed that there's still some light at the end of the tunnel. But if he does this is Chibnall basically saying he doesn't give a fuck, right? Doesn't give a fuck what we thought, right? What the general public thinks. If he does this, if he doubles down on this Timeless Child nonsense, then he has proven once and for all that he did not give two shits about this show, about its fandom, and about everybody else. It's absolutely disgraceful, and it's disrespectful to Joe Martin too. Yeah. It's disrespectful to Joe Martin too, right? Not just William Hartnell, but it is disrespectful to her, right? She's the Fugitive Doctor, so you could fit her in somewhere if you really bleeding thought about it, Chibnall. But no, you want to do the lazy thing. And if this is going to be done, I don't believe it anyway. I don't think this will happen because this is just too... But in saying that, we did think the Timeless Child thing was absolutely nonsense. We were all blue in the face saying that we thought it was nonsense. They'd never do that. They'd never cross the line, right? And they did, right? So a part of me won't dismiss it outright. But to be quite honest with you, I do think this one is designed just to get a reaction out of fans. There's some people out there that will deliberately put these kind of rumors out just to get a reaction. But if he does it, it's bye-bye Doctor Who. But I'll let the other panel have to say. But I'll ask Charlotte to go first. So ladies first. Charlotte, what do you think if this does happen? If Joe Martin becomes basically... I don't know. What does she become? The fourth Doctor? William Hartnell's the second, and then that means then all the other Doctors will have to be renumbered.
Well, here's the thing: we know that they're not doing the renumbering now, so I can't see them suddenly doing it, even if Chibs does this, because we've all said if you look at the Twitter, if you look at any of the birthdays or celebrations, the Doctors still have their original numbers. So I don't see them doing that, and I think I agree with you. If this happens, because we would physically see it by the sounds of it, if this rumor is true, we'd physically see her changing to Hartnell. At the moment, it's sort of, you can discount her if you want quite easily because we haven't seen her regenerate. We haven't seen anybody turn into her. Whereas this is designed, if it happens, to, I think, fully cement her that you can't ignore her. And that's why I think if Chibnall's done this, that's why he's doing it. But I wouldn't be surprised if actually this could be a bit of Chinese whispers because she has got a comic book series, her Doctor.
Yeah.
And it basically sounds like it's going to deal with the origins of her. So maybe in the comic, something like this happens, and it's been mistranslated that it's actually going to be in the television show.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though, Charlotte, right? And I have to ask you this because you bring up a very valid point. But we're starting to see some of the elements of the comics now start to bleed in. And if you look at it, it looks like RTD is exactly doing that. The comics with Beat the Meat. So there does seem to be a little sway towards maybe exploring things that maybe Big Finish and the comics have done. And that's what I'd be worried about, is that if this is done, maybe it's got RTD seal of approval because whatever he's going to do then will probably tie it all fucking up or something, which would be the worst case scenario.
See, I don't see that because I think what Russell is possibly doing with Beat the Meat and the other stuff is he's not saying everything from the comics is canon. He's just been incredibly selective. Like one-off monsters, one-off things that aren't connected to the mythos of the Doctor themselves. I mean, it'd be easy enough to look at the comic books and go, "That's an interesting alien. Let's just bring it to the show." I honestly think that's what his approach is. It's not to try and tie stuff up. It's so, even if this is alluded to in the comic, I don't think he's going to touch it because it's Doctor Origin stuff. And the only stuff we've seen him be interested in, and even the rumor I don't know if it's you or Marty spoke about it, he's not saying everything's canon in the comics. He's just picking what he wants. And it sounds like to me it's going to be creatures he's going to pick. Not, like I said, major Doctor Origin type storylines. So, but we'll see.
Yeah, it is actually very interesting. We will have to see. But that's an interesting take. Lee, what would your take be on this, mate?
I don't care if they resurrect Laurence Olivier and declare him to be a pre-Hartnell Doctor. No, absolutely not. No one will accept that who's an actual fan of the show, because it's so antithetical to the entire history of the show. It's a far too far a step to take. And the only reason they would do that is to be facetious. And if that's their entire raison d'etre, then no, absolutely not. Yeah. There is no intelligent reason to do this. There is no creative reason to do this, only a political reason.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, that's not good enough. And,
but you made a great point, Lee, that I just want to put up, and I've said it as well, but you're absolutely spot on. Fans will just not accept this, and I think we've already seen it with the Timeless Child. No matter what the small minority in this fandom say, the fact of the matter is nobody is ever going to accept someone before William Hartnell. Whether it has been spoken about in books or whatever, I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? The fact of the matter is no fan in their right mind is going to accept this, and I think this is why Chibnall has actually, he hasn't read the room. He's misjudged, because I don't know what got it into his head that he thought that fans wanted this explored. He's wrong. We never wanted this explored. You can touch on it. Of course, Moffat done it. RTD has even done it. But you don't go right in and just say, okay, right, well,
you don't use someone who's passed and as a legend in our Doctor Who world, William Hart. You don't disrespect the man by undermining him like this.
But he didn't just undermine
all of the Doctors,
all the Time Lords. Because remember, the Time Lords never existed then until Tectoyum went, got the Timeless Child, brought her back to Gallifrey. They only became Time Lords due to the fact that she had experimented and murdered a child. Right? So he's even changed the origins of the Time Lord. The Time Lord's origins is being completely fucking destroyed now. It's this thing that Tectoyum got this kid. The kid falls off a fucking cliff. Instead of like being concerned and shit, seeing what happened to the kid and said, "Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to experiment on this child now to get this power of regeneration. I'm going to murder this child over and over again. And there you go. Here's the Time Lord." So the Time Lords were fucking brought about because of the suffering of a child and the murderization of a fucking child. No.
I would ask people seriously. I would ask people seriously to think and consider this. What would you rather? Would you rather the history of Doctor Who from the classic era through to not the Chibnall era, and look at those writers and those creators over the last nearly 60 years, and their talent and the success, the worldwide success, and the millions upon millions of people that were brought in to watch it, from John Pertwee and Tom Baker's heights of 16 million, 18 million people watching, man. And Tennant's era when you had 16 million watching the Christmas. I mean, yeah. Okay, so you've got all those writers, those creators who crafted this carefully over a number of decades. Would you rather their legacy stands, their heart-wrenching effort to make Doctor Who one of the greatest things ever devised in human history, or would you much rather the indelible mark of a man who has destroyed Doctor Who, and for his piss stain, shit stain to smear all over those wonderful writers, Robert Holmes and Terence Dicks and all those people, that his shit stain remain indelibly linked forever?
Lee,
that's the point, man.
It's worse than that.
What would you rather?
Would you rather have, like you said, all that talent, all that hard work, or a self-insert, which is what it has become with
it is a self-insert.
It's like undermining all the people that came before you, disrespecting them with this. You know, it's just a blatant arrogance of the man that he thought, well, I'm going to be the one that explains. Nobody wanted it, Chris. Even his early interviews where he was talking about this and saying, oh, my fans have been talking about this for years and it'd be nice to explain. No. Listen to the fans. The fans told you don't want it.
He can't write a coherent, entertaining story. Full stop.
Yeah.
This man has no creative talent. He shouldn't be in that position in the first place. He is the last person on earth to leave his mark on a nearly 60-year-old franchise, which, if it was handled by someone much better suited, someone in the regions of Robert Holmes, say, then you would argue that it was done creatively and done well. But this isn't the case. You know, he's a much lesser writer by every metric than anyone else. Even Pip and Jane Baker scream into the fucking stratosphere compared to this man. And you're telling me that his 3 series, well, effectively 2 series, because the first series didn't really touch on it, but like those series can retroactively control the entirety of the entire, 50 odd plus years before that, and totally undermine the character completely, change the entire lore and history. I'm hoping that this introduction of the Celestial Toy Maker and maybe the Land of Make Believe or whatever can come in to kind of be a sort of multiverse of madness yawn, and then deal with it, tackle it, and put it in its own bubble universe or whatever, and just be rid of it. I think
this era should be put in its own bubble universe. Yeah. And if you wanted to continue that separately away from the main show, separate the two.
It's bad fan fiction.
Yeah, it is. It's very bad. But look, again, it's as I said, the point, it goes back to the main point, doesn't it?
If you love Doctor Who, do not support this.
No. Yeah, but it does have support.
And don't fall into the oh, because she's a woman of colour, that means it's more important than everything else. That's so
it's not inclusive.
That's incongruent with the thrust and the meaning of the Doctor and the whole lot. You don't just throw it all away because
but it undermines the message. It undermines the message that Chibnall was trying to communicate with the audience anyway. He was all about inclusivity and all of this. But the thing about it is, if you're going to insert a character like the Timeless Child and then to actually put it on screen the way you put it on screen, right? I mean, it wasn't even done properly. It was just this is the way it is. This is what happened. We're going to narrate it.
A white middle-class man wrote in the script that the Timeless Child was a beautiful little black girl. Don't you feel patronized in any fucking way at all by this? That this is so done as a racialized, almost fetishized reason to do it, just so he can feel better about himself. Not that he cares about black people or women. He doesn't. It's so clear to me. I just don't understand how people fall for it. And to want to undermine the character of the Doctor just in order to have this facile, superficial insert put in there like that. It doesn't matter even if it wasn't a little black girl, even if Jo Martin wasn't a black woman, as I said, if you'd put Laurence Olivier project, I would still be dead set against it because it's not true to the lore of the character of the Doctor.
Yeah, exactly.
End of story.
Yeah.
You can look at season 2B maybe, right? I mean, Big Finish are tackling that now with the second Doctor, and that's fine. But I just think we need to be looking forwards, not constantly backwards. And I think the lore is there to create a solid foundation to move forward. By pulling the rug from underneath that history, you've destabilized it. You've made the Doctor boring, effectively, really boring. It's not a mystery you've created. You've created a boring trope of this, eternal space Jesus, goes around and what's the stakes if you can regenerate infinitely? And it's pointless, absolutely pointless, and making them the most important person in the universe, effectively. No, this is not good. It's not good. You've undermined the entire history of the Time Lords and the power coming from this one event, and it's just it's awful. It's so tropey, lazy and stupid.
Right, any of the other lads want to just get a quick point in there? Sorry about Lee again.
Yeah, I know.
He's on a bit of a roll today, isn't he?
Yeah, well, the whole thing about about Joe Martin's Doctor is it'd be much better if it turned out to be the Doctor's mother, or it turned out to be the other. If you go back further in canon, like it was Longbarrow.
Look, I mean, if you had the guy who created the concept of the other and all, I mean, if you look at these people, these writers, it was never explicit, it was always implicit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also, the fact that the Cartmel plan.
Yeah.
Cartmel himself absolutely rubbished the idea.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Cartmel is a much better writer than Chibnall. And if he rubbishes it, you can guarantee it's shit. Right? End of story.
Yeah. But the whole thing about it is it'd be better if it turned out to be either the Doctor's mother or the other, who was technically like the Gallifreyan version of Goebbels.
No, if you had Joe Martin come out as the other and then loomed rather than regenerated.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. That's what I was getting at. Yeah.
All right.
And this whole thing about the division, it's like, what the fuck's the division? We know the Doctor was involved with the Celestial Investigation Agency and not the or their version of the CIA and not the division. It's just, it's like the whole. It's going to take a miracle to fix this. To tell you the honest truth. The best way to do it is just get Russell T Davies to do it. Because quite frankly, Chibnall's useless.
Yeah.
And as we just said earlier by watching this episode, he doesn't even understand what's come before. He keeps trying to change everything, restructuring everything. It's like, why?
And it's not even consistent with this Series 8 that we've just been watching with Capaldi.
Yeah, it's completely inconsistent with Series 8. It's like, what's the point?
It's inconsistent with every season that's gone before it. I mean, it's even season 11 for crying out loud.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I wouldn't but I'd accept it if they turned around and said, yes, it was the Joe Martin was the other and all that, and those regenerations from what you may call it. Oh, what's the episode? Brain and Morbius were actually the other as well, and it was all just something to do with that. And it was like,
that would work.
I'd just take it. I don't like it, but I'd take it. Let's just move on, kind of thing.
Yeah,
moving on, kind of thing. Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah.
Memory hole that fucker.
Yeah, just memory hole it. We're done. Okay, let's move on, kind of thing. But you know what I mean. It's just it's everything. Every idea comes up with
petty. It's petty at this point. It really is. It's just done to be facetious at this point.
It really is. It's like he wants to put his name on it. It's my Doctor Who now.
Yeah.
It's like it's not.
Yeah.
It's a 6-year-old franchise.
Shit stain, and it will always be remembered as a shit stain.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
John. Real Super Doctor.
He has been muted for a while, so I don't know if he's having issues.
Ew, okay.
Gone for a toilet break.
Right, well, anyway, that's how the panel feel about that. And I could see that a lot of you in the chat feel the same way. But look, as I said, there are some rumors out there that that we've seen over the years that deliberately designed to get a reaction out of people. I don't see this one being true because it's such a major I mean, he did it with the Timeless Children, and I never thought he'd do it. But this one is
Read the room.
It'd be even worse. I just don't believe after he knows that there's been a backlash. But thinking about it, you know, he's a very vindictive person and can come across as one. So this could be one final middle finger to all of us that didn't support his era. Now, if he is that vindictive, then that makes sense that this would happen. But I just don't see it. I just think there's too much riding on RTD's era that I think, you know, maybe, you know, we have spoke about Chris Chibnall was told to rein it in. And I'm pretty sure if they knew his plan for this, if this was real, I reckon they'd actually put a stop to it, to be quite honest.
Robert Payne says Chibs would carve his name on the Magna Carta. That's so true. He'd wipe his ass with it first.
Right, let's see. I see someone in the private chat. Let's see. No, it's asking it. Right, I don't know where John has gone. So what we'll do is I was gonna get his opinion on this latest rumor, but I don't know. He's obviously gone off to do something. That happens. But we'll leave it there anyway. You know where to catch us all. We've done the channel shout outs anyway. So we'll leave it there. I want to thank everybody for joining in. And, you know, when this stream goes up, into the comment section and let me know what you think of the latest rumor. Let me know what you thought of this latest Doctor Who episode. And we will be back for Peter Capaldi next week with Time Heist. And then it follows a couple of not so good episodes, as PD has rightly pointed out. But we'll keep going. For me, Series A, I still like Series A. I think Series 9, Moffat gets the balance right with the Doctor. I
like the spikier Doctor. I like his performance. I think there's some. I think I just don't think really Moffat really knew what to do with.
No, he didn't. I think he got a bit of a shock, you know, because of the reaction of the fandom to the casting. Then the younger fans were kind of all devastated.
Oh yeah, they're not my doctors. Yeah, them.
Yeah, they're not my doctors. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? I mean, there was not my doctors before. There was actually not my doctors, if you get what I mean. But anyway, we leave it there. And we will talk to you very soon. So have a good night and stay safe. Look after yourselves. And the panel are going to say good night there.
Good night.
Bye.
And we'll see you very soon. Have a good one, folks. Bye.
Bye.
Totally bye.
Why not? Just at the end. Just be kind.